Today, I'll be reviewing the Aimpoint Comp M5s red dot sight. Stick around and see why this red dot sight has now got a reputation of being one of the best ones on the market. Aimpoint has become one of the most trusted manufacturers of red dot sights. It's used by hunters, sports shooters, the military, and law enforcement worldwide. In fact, Aimpont has supplied the U.S. military with over 2 million red dot sights since 1997. And before I get into the features of this red dot sight, if you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to my channel, clicking the like button and clicking that bell, that is, to be notified of future upcoming videos. So let's go ahead and get into the features of this Aimpoint Comp M5s red dot sight. The Comp 5s has features such as running off of a single AAA battery, which has a life of at least 50,000 hours or 5 years, and that's running it at position 7. 1 year if you run it at position 8. It's got 4 NVG night vision goggle settings if you're one that likes to shoot in the dark. It has a 2 MOA red dot it's crisp and clear and great for daytime brightness. The optic itself is shipped with lens covers, and the optical glass, that is clear, allowing you to use it even in the rain and the snow. The front lens cap is solid plastic and has an operating temperature range of around minus 49 to 100 plus 160 degrees Fahrenheit. The housing material is a high-strength aluminum with a matte gray-black anodized surface finish. The size is small and it blends in well on any AR-15 or even smaller SMG style firearm. The overall tube length is only 3.4 inches or 85 millimeters, and the clear aperture is 18 millimeters or 0.71 inches. The package of the Comp M5s includes the sight itself, an LRP mount, which is a lever release Picatinny, and a spacer that will give you an optical axis of 39 millimeters or 1.5 inches. The sight itself weighs in at 5.8 ounces, 165 grams, and 8.3 ounces or 235 grams in its standard configuration on the firearm. Let me show you how easy this is to mount and unmount from your firearm. To mount the sight, you find your location on your rifle where you want to mount it. Slip it into the Picatinny, push it forward. This lever right here, you just pull the lever back and snap. It's got a little tab down here on the bottom. You snap it into place, and as you can see, the sight is very secure on the rifle itself. To remove the sight, you have to push up on the lever here. There's got a little tab underneath here, and it gets a little tough to do sometimes. You pick it up and push it up some and pull the lever out. There we go. And once it's released, simply remove the sight. Let's take a look at some of the features on this Comp M5s red dot sight here. On the lower portion of the red dot sight, you'll find the battery compartment. Now on the Comp M5 sight itself, this battery compartment was up here, and there were a lot of people complained about it, so they found a way to move it down, thus the Comp M5s. Now this is what holds your AAA battery, and you just unscrew this cap in the front right here, insert your battery, and screw the cap back on, and it does have O-rings in here for water tightness. And once you put the battery in and screw the cap on, it turns the red dot on. Now there are no on and off switches on this red dot itself. The sight itself is designed to stay on at all times. When you have the sight on all the time, you don't have to worry about, in an emergency situation, picking it up, having to turn it on, or forgetting to turn it on. It's always on. Now the rear of the battery compartment is your red dot adjustment here. You can go from a very small point to a very large point. Depending on what selector you have, if you have it the smallest section, selection that is the battery life will last about 5 years or 50,000 hours. If you set it to level 7, which is the largest, it will last about a year before your replacement. Now, what I would recommend is periodically taking your battery out and just checking it to make sure there's no signs of leakage. It's rare, but batteries do leak from time to time, and if it leaks and starts to corrode on the inside of the battery compartment here, you'll probably have to send this back to Aimpoint to be repaired, and you'll be without your sight, and I don't know how long it would take to get it back. Now, this is your windage adjustment here, and your elevation adjustment here is on the top. You can see they're protected by little tiny shields here. That keeps it from getting knocked off or bumped or dented or something like that. Now, to get to the adjustment itself, you just take these little caps off like this. And there have been complaints that, they don't like the way Aimpoint has done this particular thing. I'm kind of mixed emotion about it, but there your adjustment, 2 little holes there and 2 little holes here. This particular cap has got the 2 little knobs on it that you can insert into the holes here and adjust when you're zeroing your red sight. I said, I'm kind of mixed emotion on it. It seems to be okay, but I, in one way, do agree with others that said they wish they had a little tiny, like a slot here as well, so you could use a coin or a small screwdriver if you're out in the field and you don't have your caps here. Now, Aimpoint does sell a tool, and this tool does have the 2 little knobs on the top for adjustment here, and also has a little hex key to adjust the tension on the mount itself. But if you don't have the tool or this little cap right here, and you're out in the field, you're pretty well screwed here. Let me get it back in the view. You're pretty well screwed. You need to have these 2 tools, or one of these 2 tools, in order to adjust your red dot if you need to. But with that being said, going further here, the front cap is a solid plastic that totally covers the glass. This glass in here, as you see, has got one particular lens, and then there's a lens behind it that's kind of tilted a little bit. That's to help give you clarity and reduce the parallax. Now, the rear lens does cover and protect the inner lens, but the rear lens is clear. As you can see here, you can see through it. And that's used basically if you want to use your iron sights. If you have iron sights on your rifle, just flip up this front lens and you can use your iron sights to scope, right through the lens itself. You don't have to open the rear. Now, on this side, we have our lever that I mentioned earlier about moving it to taking off the Picatinny mount. Don't know if you can see it, but there's a small little tab right here that'll fit into this little tiny hole right here. That locks it into place. Once you have this mounted on your Picatinny rail and into your desired position, you just close this down, lock it, and this little tab goes into the space right here and locks it into place. Now, putting it on is easy. Taking it off, you have to push the lever up and pull out some, and it is a little hard to do. You can't do it real quick, but it's for a reason. It's when this is locked in, this is a prevention measure to keep from accidentally bumping the lever and having your sight fall right off your rail. Now, this mount is the one that comes with the sight itself. It's a Picatinny mount. It works very well. It's low profile. You can get other mounts that will work on here. It's just a matter of your own personal preference for what type of mount you want. Now, I personally like this particular mount. I've got a couple of other mounts that I've tried it with, or at least was planning to try it with. Looking at this, I like this mount. I'm going to stay with this mount here. Okay, well, that's just a brief overview of the sight itself and some of its features. At the time of this video, the Aimpoint Comp M5s red dot sight on the Aimpoint site itself was listing at $1,060. But if your budget can afford it and you're looking for a red dot sight that is rugged, durable, and has a battery life of at least 5 years, I highly suggest the Aimpoint Comp M5s red dot. If you add the fact that the Aimpont has got a worldwide reputation for quality, I don't think you could go wrong purchasing this sight. Well, thanks for watching, and if you found this information useful, please subscribe to the channel, click the like button and that bell to be notified of future videos. Until next time, this is Steve for Florida Responsible Carry. Be safe.